Greeting and welcome back to the channel. Before we start today, I want to just say, subscribe. Look at the chart. There's so many of you that aren't subscribed that watch the channel. You should just subscribe, you know. Just subscribe. Please. Please. But yeah, today we're doing another reaction video to another animated story. This time we're on My Story Animated, or as it's known as now, MSA, as they changed it. I don't know why, but you know, it is what it is. And today we'll be watching I Followed My Crush to the Basement and Instantly Regret It. So, yeah. Let's see how they're going to follow their crush to the basement and instantly regret it. What was the audio up? Sorry.
I was running through the rain trying to get home as quickly as possible when I noticed my crush James walking onto the school grounds.
Okay,
I
she's
didn't
down
want
horrendous.
him to see me like this. I was
Okay.
soaked to the bone,
Okay.
looking like a drowned rat.
I know how that feels. It's raining constantly in Britain, so... Love that. It's lovely. It's always raining, so I know how it feels to look like a drowned rat. But at the same time, you're immediately, like, you're just throwing us into the deep end. But okay, fine, let's just get on with it.
But I had to know what he was up to.
What
if he
do
was
you
breaking
mean?
into the school?
Why would someone break into a
I decided
school?
to follow him. And at one point, I swear, he turned around and looked right at
Okay.
me. I didn't know if I was seeing things, but it even looked like he smiled at me.
Oh, shut up! You're down horrendous. You're down absolutely diabolically. What the fuck? Just get on with it.
Wait, did he want me to follow him?
No.
Suddenly, I felt brave.
No one wants
I
you
was
to
going
follow
to tell
them.
him how I felt. The moment
No.
I'd waited for my whole life
Okay.
had arrived. But then I saw him climbing into the tornado shelter, and that should have been my first warning not to keep following him.
Yeah, you shouldn't
because
have. No, you
things were
should.
about-
Why are you just following him? You don't just see a random person. She's the one in the wrong immediately, right? She is just following this guy she likes for no. She's a stalker. She's a stalker. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
About to get super weird. Before
Yeah.
I unleash my crazy story onto you, click like and subscribe
No.
to stay up to date with all the madness that My Story Animated has in store
But
for you.
do actually go, like, I'm going to leave the link, as I usually do, I'll leave the link in the description. Go actually like and subscribe. I have done so myself. Go watch them. Pretty cool.
So there I was, climbing into a tornado shelter after my crush, with absolutely no plan of what I'd do next. I was acting purely on impulse, and it felt amazing. I felt
No.
sure he knew I'd climbed in after him, but I couldn't see
You're a
anything.
psychopath.
So I used the flashlight on my phone and realized he'd already gone down the stairs. The rain was
Psycho.
really pouring now, so I closed the lid. The last thing I wanted was to flood the shelter. Not on a special night like tonight. I'd never been this close to James before. Just the two of us alone.
It's not just the
Except
two of you,
we
will it
weren't
be?
alone.
No,
As soon
I
as I
didn't think
closed the
so.
lid, I heard a girl's voice. No!
Oh.
I started panicking and decided this had been
Imbecile.
a stupid idea.
Absolute
I pushed the lid to climb
imbecile.
back out, but it wouldn't open. No matter how hard I pushed it, it
I
didn't budge.
just despise the main character of this story immediately. I despise them. They stalk some random guy, the poor guy, they're just getting stalked. And then they're now trapped in a tornado a tornado cellar with her crush and her crush's partner. I don't like this character at all.
Oh my gosh, I was stuck. If it had just been me and James down there, it would have been quite exciting.
No.
But suddenly I heard a kissing sound and I realized my worst
Lol.
nightmare had just come true. I was stuck in a tornado shelter with my crush and his
Lol.
girlfriend by the sounds of things. I didn't want them to know
what
I
you get
was
for being a
there,
fucking
like some
stalker.
creepy stalkers, so I tried
You are
to
a
keep
fucking
as
creepy
quiet
stalker.
as possible. I could hear them laughing, and then the girl said, "Did anyone see you come in here? I hope we
Yes.
didn't get caught." And James replied, "No, I don't think so. Oh no, wait, there was a girl from my school, but she wouldn't say anything. She's such a loser." At that, I had to cover my face.
You
I
stinky
wanted to
loser.
cry.
You
It felt like
loser.
she shoved a knife through my heart. And then I felt angry. I had to get out of there. This was literally the most embarrassing situation to ever be in. And what would my
It's your own fault. I don't care what your parents think. It's your own fault. Shouldn't be fucking following random people around. Maybe he's not even random. You shouldn't just be following your crush around. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
parents think when they found out? I gave the lid one final push, but I pushed too hard. The
Dumb.
next moment, I lost my footing and was
She
rolling
dies.
down the
She's gonna die.
stairs. I
What
landed
the
with a
fuck?
thump and blacked out for a second. When
Yeah,
I opened
she
my
did.
eyes, James
Oh,
and his girlfriend
she's
were
got knocked out.
standing over me. They didn't even ask me if I was okay. James just looked down at me and said, "Did you follow me here? What are you
Yes.
playing at?" Then
Exactly.
he turned to his girlfriend and said, "Come on, babe, let's bounce." Then they just left me lying there and headed up
Good.
the stairs. I
Good.
was about to tell them that we were trapped down there, but they'd soon discover it for themselves. I could hear James bashing on the lid of the shelter, but obviously
Well-
it wouldn't open. And then he shouted down to me and asked if I'd done this. and
Yes,
if I
she
thought
had.
It was funny.
She did do it.
No, James.
She thought
I
it was
did
hilarious.
Not find this funny.
She
I
thinks
wanted
it's
to shout up at
hilarious.
him.
She's lying.
Gosh, what would he say if he knew how much I wished I were his girlfriend and not that
I don't
dumb
care.
blonde girl? Then
I
he started
don't
shouting about
care.
how he had
You were
to get out
stalking him.
ASAP, because the next day was his big football game that was
Oh
going
my
to
goodness.
guarantee him a scholarship to a top college.
She's ruined his
He said
life.
He had to get it, otherwise he'd
Some
be stuck
random
in this
girl that he doesn't
stupid
even know
town
just
forever.
ruined his life.
Oh no, this was a disaster. And it
Oh,
was
for who?
only just
Not
the
you. It's not your
beginning.
life that's
I
been
sat up
ruined.
and looked around with my
You
flashlight
fucked his
on my phone
scholarship.
and realized there
He's
was
now locked in this
literally
cellar
nothing
with some
down
random
there except
girl
for some sandbags
and his girlfriend.
an old scratchy
It's really
blanket that
awkward,
looked like
and he doesn't want to
1,000
be
bugs
there.
might be living
Oh,
in it. And
look at
then
the
I
crusty
realized
blanket.
scratchy blanket that looked like
Oh, look at that. It looks like someone just shat on the bed. Jesus.
1,000 bugs might be living in it. And then I realized I was shivering, like properly freezing cold.
Good.
My phone was on 10%. Not that it mattered. There was absolutely no signal down there anyway. I didn't even have a bottle of
Dumb.
water on me, and by the looks of
Stinky.
things, James and his girlfriend had nothing either.
Stinky.
Oh man. I held my breath as they came down the stairs. I was so scared of what they'd say to me. They were arguing, and James's girlfriend came right up to me and said, "This is all your fault. You've
I
ruined
fully agree with her. Everything is her fault. I fully agree. I fully agree about that. She is... Stalker. Psycho alert. Psycho alert. For real. No cap on that. She is a psychopath, and she liking to stalk. Get away. Break through that door. As best like, I don't care if it's metal. Find something. Get out of there.
everything." Truly, that felt like the most awkward moment of my entire life. James told her to try and calm down, and I learned her name was Amy. She must have
Amy.
gone to another school because I'd never seen her before. Neither of them had
Amy.
signal either, and soon they started
Her name is
screaming
Amy.
for help. I didn't want to tell them it was pointless. The rain was so loud, no one would hear us even if they were right above us.
In the tornado cellar, no one can hear you scream. Fucking brilliant. So they're now trapped in a tornado cellar with some stalker girl. Like, I'm on their side at this point. I'm on James and Amy's side. Like, I don't know. I can't remember her name. That's how unlikable she is. Because she's a stalker.
Eventually, I told them I was sorry, even though it wasn't my fault.
It was
I
your
lied and
fault!
told them I'd been trying to shelter from the rain because I'd forgotten my umbrella, but Amy didn't buy it. She said, yeah, right. You're clearly a stalker. Do you
I
get
agree.
kicks out of watching other people making out or something?
For real.
James said you're a loser, and he wasn't joking.
Ah,
Look at you.
stinky.
If I hadn't already been underground, I'd have asked the ground to swallow me up. No one had ever been so mean to me before. After that, it was really uncomfortable, and all of us were in a bad mood. Soon, it became
I'm in a bad
obvious
mood.
we
You're just
all
stalking
had to spend the
James,
night
the poor
down
guy.
there. So I found a corner as far away from Amy as possible and lay down. I was still shivering and thought about using the insect-infested
No,
blanket,
don't even
but
touch that.
Amy had already grabbed it.
Yeah,
there
let
was
Amy
no
have it.
way I'd fall asleep. I was
Let
so
Amy be
thirsty,
warm. I
and
don't
even
care
though the
if
shelter
she's got
luckily had a
dookie
small
around her
toilet,
arms.
there was no sink, which meant no running water.
Lovely.
I'd have drunk the rain earlier if I knew this was going to happen. I covered my ears because I was afraid I'd hear them kissing, and eventually I must have fallen asleep because the next moment I found myself waking up to hearing a rustling sound. I looked
What?
over at Amy, and even though I couldn't see anything, I knew she was
Ah.
eating something. I could hear her. I couldn't believe
Good.
she had food with
Just
her
let her munch.
and wasn't sharing it. Did James know? I should have said something, but I was too scared. I'd already caused
care.
enough trouble.
Yeah, you have
Finally,
caused enough
morning
trouble.
came,
You've
and by
actually
then my
learned.
phone was at 2%. Soon I
Has she got
wouldn't
James
even
on
know
her
what
fucking-
time it was.
Is that James? On her phone screen? She is a fucking psycho. She is a stalker. What the fuck?
2%. Soon I wouldn't even know
Oh
what
my
time
God.
it was.
Oh, well.
I was bursting for the toilet.
Go
So I
toilet then.
went to use it, and of course, Amy shouted at me and said my peeing was too loud and had woken her up.
Ah.
Then I noticed there was a light switch outside the toilet. I clicked on it, not expecting it to work, and suddenly the whole shelter was flooded with light. Amy quickly pulled the blanket up and told me to look away. Oh my gosh, were they not
my
wearing clothes?
God.
Amy just laughed and said everyone knows that body heat is the best way to survive in cold weather.
True. Very true.
Ew. Once they got dressed,
What do
I
you mean,
realized how I
ew?
wasn't the
Oh,
only
shit, I just
one for them
skipped.
to look at me. I felt so embarrassed, but
Hang on. Where? What happened? Oh.
gosh, were they not wearing clothes? Then Amy just laughed and said everyone knows that
fucked it up.
body heat is the best way to
Amy's true. Best way to keep warm if you're cold is body heat. So you like penguins, they like huddle up in like groups when it's like blizzarding. Is that a word? When it's a blizzard, they huddle up together. They keep each other warm in a little group. They have big group hug, so to speak. It's really cute. I do like penguins. They're really cute. Right, carry on.
survive in cold weather. Ew! Once they got
No,
dressed,
not ew.
I realized how pretty Amy was, and it really annoyed me. How could I have thought James would ever be interested in someone like me when he had Amy? I ran
real.
up the stairs and tried to push the lid again, but then I just sat there waiting for people to arrive at school. Then I'd scream my head off. Plus, I didn't want them to look at me. I felt
Good.
so insecure about my running clothes, and I hadn't even shaved my legs. I didn't
Okay.
want James noticing. I could
That
hear
doesn't-
the school
look,
bell
look,
and
look,
feet walk.
Body hair, if like, it's natural. If a person gets grossed out by body hair, I'm not on this person's side anymore. I never was, but at the same time, if anyone gets like grossed out by body hair, it's natural. Just if you think it's gross, okay, that's your own opinion, but just leave other people alone. Just leave them alone. They aren't doing anything to harm you. Their hair isn't hurting you. Sure, you might think it's gross and it's unhygienic. If it was unhygienic, then the human body wouldn't grow it, would it? So, you're wrong.
Over us, but no one heard me scream. How
Good.
long would we be down here?
Forever.
James was complaining about being hungry, and Amy too, but I knew Amy had eaten something in the night.
I'm
she
hungry.
was a liar.
She
We
is a
started
liar.
looking around the place to see if we
But
could
I
find
don't care.
anything, and James
You're all as bad
suddenly
as each
sounded
other.
happy. Under the sandbags, he'd found some old bottles of water. The
Yay!
water looked disgusting. but I'd have drunk anything
Drink the
by that
poop
point.
water.
Both
Poop
James
water.
and I downed like a liter
Poop
each,
water.
but Amy refused.
Drinking
Suit
that
yourself, I
poop
thought.
water.
Then about an hour later, I started getting a weird pain in my stomach.
It's the
Oh,
poop
no.
water.
There was no toilet paper. This
Poop
couldn't
water.
be happening. I had to run and almost puked my guts up. And I wasn't
Nice.
the only one. James raced in after
was the
me,
poop
and at
water.
one point, we were both
Never
lying
trust
on
the
the floor,
poop
taking it in
water.
turns to vomit. Not exactly what I had in mind for our first date together.
It's not a
That
date.
water must have been 20 years old or something. Amy got seriously annoyed and even tried to drag James out of the bathroom. Was she jealous? And then I noticed an empty soda bottle behind the toilet. Had Amy secretly had a bottle of soda?
Probably,
and not
but
told
it's
us?
nothing to do
How
with you.
Selfish. That first day seemed to fly by. Most of it spent in the bathroom, of course. By the end of the day, I'd almost lost my voice from screaming for help. Would we be stuck down there forever?
This makes me so
and
angry.
Then nighttime came, and James and Amy got into a huge fight. Secretly, it made me happy to see them argue.
You're just
James
psychotic.
deserved better. He was super upset that he'd missed his football game, but Amy just kept saying he could go to college with her and then they'd never be apart. And James got really angry and said he didn't want to go to her college. Then the whole room went silent. It was tense. I didn't know what to do, so I
Oh,
just
my
stayed quiet
God.
and pretended to be asleep. A
Yeah,
while later, I
keep your
heard
mouth shut
someone
at this
saying
point.
my name.
You've
I
made
opened
enough
my eyes
problems.
and could see James. He said he could hear my teeth chattering and that I should come and share their blanket. But
No.
if Amy woke up and saw me, she'd go mental. I didn't care about her, though. James was actually being
this is
kind
so
of nice
cringe,
to me for the
man.
first time in my life. I couldn't
James is
lose
the only
that
good
chance.
person down
so
here.
I climbed under the blanket next to him. Our
I
legs
kinda like
were
Amy
almost
too.
touching. And of
Oh,
course,
shut
that woke
up.
Amy up. And when she saw me, I thought she was going to explode.
Ah,
James
Amy
wanted
Creeper.
to keep the peace, so
Creeper
he
Amy.
snuggled into
Creeper
her and
Amy.
left me lying there all alone. But I
Ah.
couldn't stop thinking about the moment we just shared. And during the
didn't
night,
share no
I
moment.
decided to try and get closer to him. I rolled over until I was almost right at his back. But then I heard something. They were kissing. I was watching them, wishing it was me he was kissing.
She is actually psychotic. He was only being nice to her. He was only being nice. James is the only good person in this story. He's such a nice person, and they're taking him for granted.
I couldn't stop staring, but suddenly Amy opened her eyes and caught me watching them. She told James, but James said I was asleep and that they should get some sleep too. But James didn't
I
go
don't
back to
care.
sleep. He waited until Amy was snoring next to him, and then he reached out his hand and grabbed mine.
No.
I felt like my heart was going
James,
to
what are you
explode,
doing?
And I
I had
badly
faith
wanted
in
to
you.
get closer to him, but it was too risky. There was always
James, I had faith in you. You were the chosen one. Fucking simp.
the next night, right? So we fell asleep holding hands and I couldn't stop smiling. In the
You
morning,
should.
though, I was lying there all alone. When Amy got up to go to the bathroom, I smiled at James and he smiled back. But then
No.
Amy came out and saw me and said, "Freak, stop staring at us like that." I thought James would stick up for me, but he didn't. He was
Okay.
acting like nothing had happened
Okay.
between us. The rest of that day was
They're all
kind
as
of
bad as
weird.
each other,
We
we've
just
learned.
sat around
They're
quietly.
all
At one
equally
point,
fucking
James
shit
almost
people.
fainted. I mean, we were
Ginger
all
person
starving.
is a
I was
fucking
so weak.
stalker.
I just kept
Amy's
napping.
just
And
a
when I woke up
bitch,
from
and
one of
James
my
is a
naps,
fucking
James
simp.
and Amy were eating biscuits. Where did they
Biscuit.
get them from? I could almost
I
feel
love
the saliva
biscuits.
pouring out of my mouth, and I assumed Amy would offer me one.
Nope.
But she didn't. They ate them all.
Nom nom
and
nom.
after that, I
Good.
didn't speak to either of them. I was so mad. I couldn't sleep that night because my stomach was rumbling so loudly. But once
such a
Amy had fallen
shame.
asleep, James reached into his pocket and handed me a biscuit. I swear I almost kissed him right there and
No,
then. This was why I had
you're-
a crush on
I
him.
hate-
He was actually a good guy.
He's
even
not a
if
good
he had a
guy.
demon
He's
for a
cheating on his
For the
girlfriend.
next few nights, we got into a bit of a routine. After Amy fell asleep, we'd lie there and hold hands. And one night, James came right up to me, and
Right
I
up
could
to
tell
me.
he was about
I'm
to
about
kiss
to
me.
kiss
But
me.
Amy started murmuring in her sleep, and he quickly moved over to her and held her. It drove me crazy. After we'd been down there
Stinky.
for like 6 days, things were really starting to smell. The toilet, my clothes, it was nasty. And
I bet.
still, James and I hadn't shared a kiss, but for some reason, Amy still looked good. That day I noticed she didn't get up. It was like she'd given up on shouting for help, but it bothered me. Why should she get to sit there and chill? So I told her I'd just seen a
So this story is don't take others for granted, or don't, whatever the fuck it's supposed to say. I'll look at it again in a minute, once the video's over. But what we've learnt is that this story is pissing me off. I'm actually really pissed off. I don't feel any connection to any of these characters, and I don't feel bad for any of them. They're all getting what they fucking deserve.
huge spider, and I've never seen her run so fast.
Course.
She raced up the stairs to where James was, and I immediately went over to where she'd been sitting. I
Of
just
course.
had this feeling she was hiding something.
Okay,
like
and
another
now
pack of
she's being
biscuits.
even more
But I found
psychotic.
something much bigger. Under
What?
where she'd been sitting was a loose part of the floorboard. I lifted it up and couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was so much stuff down there.
Oh,
Beauty
shit.
products, food, a battery pack, even clothes.
Sick.
Oh my gosh, what was going on? I didn't have
Lamau.
time to put the floorboard
Lamau.
back before
Lamau.
James appeared to find the spider. I whispered that Amy had been hiding stuff. James came running over and pulled out her
What?
phone. He knew her password and typed it in quickly. Then he saw some messages that said things like, I need to find a way to stop him going off to college. I'm scared he'll
Oh,
leave me.
they're all
As he was leaving them
psychopaths!
and I was eating one of her secret chocolate bars. She
I'm
came
so
down
angry.
The stairs. What are you doing? She screamed. But it was too late. We'd caught her red-handed. She tried to grab her phone back from James, but he wouldn't give it to her. Eventually, she broke down and said that she didn't want James to leave her for college. So she'd planned this.
L plus
But she had
ratio.
only meant for them to be stuck down there for 1 or 2 days.
L plus
Then she said
ratio.
I'd ruined it all by turning up and getting them locked in here. But
Oh,
there was
they're
something
all
else.
fucking
While
shit
she'd been
people.
talking, I'd been digging around, and inside a pair of her socks was a key. I held it in my hands and watched as James went crazy at Amy. He said he couldn't believe he dated such a psycho. and that she'd
No, you're all
officially ruined
psychos.
his life. Then the
You're all
best
bad
part of
people.
all, he turned to me and apologized. He said he was sorry he'd treated me so badly, but actually he'd realized how amazing I was.
You're
and had
all
enjoyed
bad
our
people.
sneaky
You're all
hand-holding
lying.
sessions while
You're
Amy
all
slept.
just weird.
At that,
James,
Amy
shut up.
went
Amy,
berserk.
shut up.
She ran
I
towards
can't
me
remember
and
the
I
ginger
quickly
person's
jumped away.
name.
Then I watched as she dug around
They're
inside
all
her secret
awful
hiding
people.
place. Looking for this? I asked, swinging the key in
L
my
plus
hand.
ratio.
Then I turned to James and said, she's
Bozo.
been hiding this key the whole time. Before Amy
Oh.
could get to it, I ran up the stairs and undid the
The
lock.
idiocy.
James was right behind me, and we
What was
both
the plan,
climbed
man?
out and collapsed onto the ground.
So why did you even
laughing.
keep him down there that
We
long?
were free.
The story
As Amy
is
climbed out,
stupid.
I thought she was going to kick me or something, but she just stormed off. And
Good.
James shouted after her, "That's right, keep walking. I never want to see your face again."
Lol.
Finally, she was gone.
Good.
And James turned to me and gave me the biggest kiss ever.
Oh.
We could see the janitor running towards us. And before all hell broke loose with our parents about where we'd been for the past week, James asked for my number.
No,
And
I
now
don't
we're about to go
care.
on our first proper date.
No, you don't
The
deserve
worst
it.
week of
You
my
don't
life
deserve it.
just
You
became
don't deserve
the
it.
best
You
week.
don't deserve it. You're a stalker and a psycho. This story is stupid. It's stupid! What was the moral of that story? Never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. Shut up. Most stupid... No. There's no... that message was never there. Ever. No one was being helped up. You all just fucking pushed each other about. That was so fucking stupid. I hated it. I hated that story so much. Oh. That was probably one of my least favourite stories I've ever reacted to be honest. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you did like, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. As I said, look at the chart in the beginning. Look at it now. Subscribe. I need this. I would appreciate it if you did. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.